let's do it where, not do it, but let's change up who you target. So I made him get a pen and a pad, and I said, okay, who would you want to work with, or who do you feel, likes most of your stuff, and let's target them. So we started to notice, based on his analytics, he was getting better, not exposure, but getting better engagement from people who were about his age, which makes sense. People would want life experience from somebody who's their age or older than them. Like I said, depending on the circumstances, and given the fact that he's still young, giving life experience or coaching somebody that's older is a little bit harder. So he was trying to target people that were, well into their 50s and 60s, who were just doing it, and not just that, but people who were even 20 years older, people in their 40s. But he was targeting the wrong group. So I said, let's target a smaller group. Let's target people in your age. The benefit of that is that you can pretty much market directly to those people, and it separates you from other people. So when people look at his ads and they say, why should I come up with you? Why should I work with you? You say, okay, I'm specifically for younger people. I'm not just a general coach helping out everybody. I'm specifically for somebody who's in your age range. So that's how you differentiate yourself from the group. That's how you separate yourself from the pack. Now, the other importance of this is this will help you with your content. So this helps you with the customer retention and getting more leads, and really, really, building a good connection with people before they sign up with you or they buy. Basically, if you know your market, you can make your ads directed towards them. So with my client, since he's in the mentee program, I said, okay, now that we know who to target, you can start making your posts more relatable for that group. So when he does memes and jokes, somebody who's 40 years old isn't going to understand it, but somebody who's younger might. So when he was, he had a really, really wide net, it was a little bit harder to know what type of content to make, because it was just very, very sporadic. And you can do that, but the thing about doing that is that there's more competition, and you would need to pay for ads, because the purpose of the ads is to do the work that you don't want to do, and the work that you want to do is narrow yourself down. Ads just do that for you. And I like paying for ads, however, I like paying for them once you already niche yourself down, because it automates it. All ads are doing is automating your reach. So a lot of people, they have a bad business plan, and then they're just saying, okay, I hope this ad does magic, and they don't really narrow it down. That's what we do over here. We make sure that you narrow it down before you pay for ads, because the ads are to automate that. But you need to have the good plan. It's like having a bad product and then marketing it. The product needs to be good. So that's a very fundamental example with somebody that I'm working with, that, they are starting to see results because they narrowed themselves down. So that was number 2, and I'm going to get through these because I'm going to try to keep it short so I can divvy out the content. We have understanding the criteria. So this is what I use for everybody in our group, pretty much. So the first one, and make sure you're writing this down and taking notes, but I use this as a framework, so whenever I post, it's my checklist before I send the post out. So the first thing is there a hook? Is there something compelling about, the video or the picture or even the ad? What's going to hook people in? What's going to catch people's attention? The second thing is it in demand? Is it something that people want? So I use Google Trends. I do just market research. I see what people want, what questions people have, what do people actually want. Because, like I always joked about in the past videos, you can like stuff, but it doesn't mean that that's what the public wants. A perfect example is, with the stuff that here in America that we pretty much want, but the problem is that not everybody wants to do it. So, for example, we all want electronics, but there's not a lot of people that make them. There's not a lot of people that study them. Everybody pretty much studies entrepreneurship and other things, entertainment, or everybody wants to be a rapper or a singer, but nobody wants to make the stuff, produce the stuff, study the stuff that we actually want, need, and use. So that's the importance of being in demand. The third thing is really good hashtags. So you want to make sure your hashtags aren't shadow bannable. So there are hashtags that Instagram doesn't want us to use. And I had started to look up certain hashtags that were banned, and then there's a website where you can copy and paste them. You can see which ones are banned. But certain words they don't want you to use. Like if you're saying make money fast online, they don't want you to use that because it's not authentic. Because it's almost not almost, but it is false advertisement because you can't really make somebody make money. You can only give somebody tips. So there's just certain words that they don't want. So making sure your hashtags are good. The fourth one is making sure that you're providing some type of value / being unique. I say, of course, you're providing value. That goes into being in demand. But number 4 is being unique. What makes you special? What makes you unique? So with going back to my mentee, that's why we made him unique by making sure that he had a specific sub niche. And even within that sub niche, he was even more unique. So I said, okay, you're working with younger people. Let's make it so we work with younger people, but younger people that have 9 to 5s. You want to pretty much break yourself down as much as possible because it gives you a fighting chance. Pretty much when people ask, why should I work with you? You're getting all of this extra, not help, but I'm tailored specifically to you. So even for me, I, of course, help with social media, but I specifically help with fitness people. And then I break it into 2. Fitness people who just post stuff, and then fitness people who are looking for clients. I would say maybe 3 because I also help out people who want to build a, like people that do nutrition stuff, I help them out as well. But I narrow myself down because I know that there's a need for it, and it helps me to pretty much just stand out. So that was number 4. So we're almost done. We have about, I think, 4 more. 1, 2, 4 more, so we're almost done. So the next thing is coming up with ideas. So coming up with ideas pretty much is important because of course, like I said, there are courses, there's templates that people use to come up with ideas, but you still need a little bit of time during the day to come up with organic ideas. And that's the benefit of the template that we use, that we have in our mentorship program in the academy, is to block off some of the monotonous, just brain-numbing work so you can spend more time thinking about ideas. And it's important because, like I said before, everything starts with an idea. So you need to come up with ideas. So how do I come up with ideas? I'll usually study. So in the evening, when I finish all my work, when I'm scrolling, I'll look at what's trending, and I'll use that to come up with ideas. And I'll take notes. I'll do my market research. So I take notes on overall what's, what type of content is getting the most views. What are people looking for? What do people want? So if I'm looking, and I'm starting to see there's a lot of people who are maybe they're bulking, of course, because it's the winter time, but they're bulking. I'm going to make sure that whenever I do my videos, even when I do entertainment-based videos, it's in relation to that, to what's already trending. Even certain body types might be trending at a certain time. Back in the past with fitness, it was a lot of really, really, and I love using this example because the fitness community has changed a lot. I haven't been working out as long as other people, but in the 5 years I've been working out, I've seen like a huge change overall. And I think a lot of it is due to, just time, but primarily COVID, and just the pandemic. But in the past, it was, just being really, really slim. Well, for women. Around 2017, it was, being slim and fit and kind of having like an hourglass shape. Now it's more mid-sized, people who are more plus size. And I think a lot of it just comes down to just how the culture is and just what's going on in the world now. But, just seeing the change, because just because you like it doesn't mean it's what's trending. So for me, if I'm posting my entertainment videos, because I'm used to seeing people in the gym that look a certain way, that's not what's trending right now. For guys, it's changed as well. When I started working out, I think the big thing was, I would say a lot of it was aesthetics. Now, not so much. Now it's just really, really having, decent aesthetics, but being strong and having an overall balanced physique where you can see it with a shirt on. When I started working out, it was more like, shirt off, if that makes sense. And a lot of it comes down to, the issues that we had during the global health crisis, but trends change. So, you take notes on it. So at the end of the day, I take notes on what's trending, what I'm noticing, what patterns. I might be seeing a lot of videos where they're talking about relationships. Take notes on everything. That's how you do your research. So the next one is creating an actual plan, or I would say not necessarily a plan, but have a system in place and then have a time limit on it. So for me, because I've been doing something new, I'm gonna probably give it about 5 weeks. So probably until, let me check my calendar. So probably until the beginning ish of December to see, to check my data and see how much the plan is working. And I love doing this because I originally started when I started working out. Whenever you're doing fitness, it takes time to see results from a program. So I would always give it about like 6 weeks, to see how a result was doing, not a result, but how a certain program was doing for my body. So you have to give it time. So that's why I say, go week by week, give it about 4 to 5 weeks, and you do the same thing every day, but you plan it. And you can track the data and not doing too much. Because sometimes if you're adding too many things in a certain plan you have, it can be a little bit hard to see what works and what doesn't. So for me, that's a big issue that I had in the past month. Trying to do too many things at once and not having a clear cut plan. So that'll help you out a whole lot. I really, really believe that'll help you guys. So the next one, pretty much develop a system. So I have my system and I just gave it to you guys, which is the 4 criteria. If you want that, you can just DM me, or you can DM me for it, because I pretty much just give out, like, not the template, but I give out like the tips. I have it on my page. But if you want to actually get in-depth help and I can craft a plan for you and go step by step, join the Mentorship Academy. I have it listed on my Instagram in my bio. So just DM me and you can get into the academy at an affordable price. And what it's going to do for you is it pretty much just it gives you the template that I have, but I help you one-on-one. I critique you, I help you, I pretty much explain, why you're struggling and what you need to do better. So you can join that. But developing a system, it helps because you need to understand what you're doing wrong, and then when you're doing the same things day in and day out, you can figure out how to improve it. So for me, the benefit of that was that I mastered the skill of creating content quickly, and now I can teach somebody else to do it, or just pay somebody else to do it, and then I can work on other things. So that's the importance of developing that system, because you want it to be, mindless, where you can just create, and you can spend more time creating and thinking and being creative, and then spend less time, actually figuring out what to do. Because a lot of people do that, and that's the problem with not having a plan. Because you spend a lot of time thinking, you're confused, you're mixing up different things. So that's why it's really good to come up with a system, and you can spend more of your time being creative and less of your time, actually writing out posts and thinking and coming up with ideas. So that's that. And then the last one is figuring out your captions or your titles. So you can use an AI thing. So they have AI copywriting software. So they have that. I prefer, and I'm giving you advice that I use personally, I will usually look at what types of titles